Good evening. Um, Welcome back to our Pathfinder game. We are in the aftermath of the showdown with Mokmurian. I'm feeling a little under the weather today, so it's going to be a little lower energy, but that's fine because this is pretty much a relaxing session anyway. So,
It's okay, Tim. I'll have enough energy for the both of us.
I believe it. 100% believe it. All right, so let's get into our recap. We started out with you guys trying to fight off some. The easiest way to put it is just like alien dogs because they're very much from another plane. They have forms that sort of resemble dogs, quadrupeds, and they made like loud kind of almost like yapping noises like a dog would. But you guys took care of them in relatively short order, thanks to some smart spell use and extra turns coming from Dino's summoned Ankylosaurus, as well as Babu, scratching him up and doing his thing. After the fight there, Jareem went ahead and animated one of them, turning it into a zombie hound thrall that he immediately began to use as you guys enter the next room and encountered Mokmurian, the leader of the Stone Giants here at Jorgenfist, as well as a bunch of hazards in the form of different fog clouds and just his attempts to fling people across the room who got too close to him, just in an effort to maintain some kind of range superiority over you guys. But it took a bit, but thanks to Dino's multiple efforts with dispelling some of the magical effects that were on Mokmurian, and then basically more of you guys getting into melee engagements with him than he was able to really deal with. And finally, a combination of Cade's Hypnotic Stare with Lily's Constricting Coils, which Mokmurian would have made the save if not for the stare. You guys were then able to basically lock him down and finish him off. Before he died,
And Kat
go ahead.
tried to one off him, and it failed epically.
Yeah, I was gonna leave that out, but it made for a good moment. So yeah, Kat attempted to disintegrate him and made some really cool speech, and then as Roll20 loves to troll everybody, she rolled a 1.
It just sputtered.
But yeah, so as Karzoug, I'm gonna get to Karzoug in a second, but as Mokmurian's body absorbed all of the hits and tails and bites and claws and crossbows and great swords and all the stuff that you guys were throwing at him, Karzoug basically took over his body, causing it to move a bit more robotically. Familiar to Dino at least, the bright green sort of like flash in Mokmurian's eyes, which indicated that he was likely being possessed. And Karzoug basically delivered a fairly generic but still foreboding bad guy speech before he essentially just snuffed out the rest of Mokmurian's life force, whatever was left of it. Karzoug basically informed you all that he doesn't think much of you, and he is going to awaken his armies at a place known as Xin-Shalast. And in the aftermath of the fight, you guys located several important documents and papers, books that Mokmurian was using. Including all the spell books, including sort of a map that seem to indicate where there were some sort of like standing stones that Mokmurian and his armies deemed to be of importance with regard to basically bringing Karzoug back to Galarian. You also found a massive amount of treasure, several valuable and useful and powerful magic items, and a few non-magical things like a very nice necklace and a set of ivory rune stones. You guys also took Mokmurian's club and his fog cutting lenses, which should aid you in your future travels. For the moment, I'm going to put the handout that I had at the end of last session on the screen again, just so we can refresh ourselves here. As I said, there are some X's on the map here that have one looks like it's in Sandpoint or very near Sandpoint. Two more of them are to the north, or three more, excuse me. One being not in Riddleport, but relatively close to it. But yeah, the one that is in Sandpoint is circled, and there is a very obvious indication that Mokmurian and his group were going to look for that stone in particular. And the map also mentions the name of some sort of trader known as Zaliasa, who may or may not have the key that would help you get into a place called Runeforge, which is another thing that Mokmurian was looking for. Speaking of keys, you guys also ended up finding a key that opens the door to the library here in Jorgenfist. You guys will be able to do that safely now without having to go find the password to it. So from there, we're going to pick up. You guys are still in Mokmurian's throne room, basically having just collected all of your loot. And yeah, what do you guys want to do?
First thing I'm doing is I'm using my new spell slot to give Chomper the gift of sight again. That should happen a long ass time ago.
I
Well,
think I could use the gift of sight again as well.
Yeah, I had, so you can certainly use yours to give Chopper his sight back. I had Ursulin prep a couple of those as well, so she is going to.
in my defense, I didn't know the scroll would crumble after it gets out the library.
Yeah, no, you didn't know that. No one had really done their due diligence on that one. But yeah,
Can I
Ursulin,
use restoration to heal blindness?
I don't think it cures blindness. Let me make sure though. I was gonna have Ursulin removed from you anyway because she has a couple prepped, but yeah, for my own purposes, let's see here. Yeah, no, restoration is really just meant for like ability damage and fatigue, and well, at the higher levels, it also takes care of things like level drain, which Ursulin has two of those, two negative levels from basically dying and being brought back via Raised Dead a few sessions ago. So Ursulin will remove the blindness from herself and from Jareem.
TY.
Leaving just a couple, just really all like the familiars / like spirit animals being the ones that are still blinded. So the three of you who got those spells can now see again. So yeah, what does everyone want to do?
I did a thorough search of everything in the room to get all the cash money, right?
Yes, you guys did a pretty thorough search of the room. Basically recovering all of the gear that Mokmurian had, as well as popping open the chest that was sitting under his throne. Yeah, and like I said, you guys found pretty much all of his stuff. At least, everything that he had in here. Yeah, he took his gear, he took his money, he took the magic items he had. The only item that you probably wouldn't be able to get out here very easily is basically like all of his like alchemical equipment and things like that. It's all going to be very heavy, and given what it's worth, it's probably not worth it to try and haul that stuff out of here. It's not really worth the trouble.
Yeah, since this is gonna be a new base, might as well just keep it here. I suggest we go to the library because there are many things we need to know that we don't. We need to know what the hell Hellfire ruins are. We need to know what the foundations look like, and we need to know who the hell is Salasa.
Zaliasa,
Honestly,
yes.
I agree. And then I look over at Dino and I say, and my second suggestion after we leave the library is make copies of the key for the library so we can come back whenever any of us wants. It seems easier to do that than try to make copies of all the scrolls that we want to take out.
True.
But either way, let's go.
Cat looks a little sad and it's like, but I just got a scroll to teach me how to copy all the scrolls. And uses copy on a random scroll to copy it. Or no, she doesn't use copy, but like she's like, I just got a scroll to teach me how to copy all the scrolls. I just learned this spell.
I have a new spell. I want to use.
Now's a good time to use it. Or are you just using it for shits and giggles?
I don't know.
I think you do.
Well, I'm using no direction to know which way is north.
To know which way is north.
Yeah.
I got this new spell which helps us guide us to
Let's see here.
a direct way. Most direct way.
So yeah, this direction
Well,
is
keep a hold
north.
on that because we already know where the library is.
Okay. Well, I'm just trying to look back at the
Oh, it's
Man,
called Find Path. It's Find the Path. 6th level, and I don't have any more 6th level spots.
so we originally entered at what? And like
We originally entered this way. This way.
sorry, I was talking about the fortress itself.
Well, yeah, the fortress you guys entered by going in through the Death Web caves.
Okay, so like A4 or A3?
Yeah.
Or A5.
I think it was. Let me scroll back up here.
Sorry, I'm looking at the actual map you handed out. You shared us because I was just trying to think of
You went
where
in
we want to
through
go.
A4 is where you entered.
Okay. In relation to A4, where are we now?
You are beneath it, and also, I would say. A fair distance north of it, of like that exit, rather. Exit of the cave.
Okay. So like A2F, kind of over there.
Probably closer to A2G.
Okay, so then we look around at everyone and say, with the heading that I know, and say, well, I feel like we still have a solid amount of ground to cover if we either go north or west from where we are. If there is more stuff we want to uncover. If not, then we should go directly back to the library and clear out anything that's in our way.
I'm with it.
back to the library, or
I think so.
okay? So you guys make your way back towards the library. You guys go ahead and grab your key that you obtained from Mokmurian, put it in the door, and sure enough, it pops open, allowing you guys access. Some tokens, so we're not like hovering above the shaft where everything is. All right, so you guys walk in. The clockwork librarian is still kind of just aimlessly roaming around doing its thing. When it spots you guys, it sort of clumsily makes its way over to Lily, and as before, it addresses Lily in Thessalonian and asks what you're looking for.
What we're looking for. What are we looking for?
I mean, I would imagine you guys are going to be wanting to do some research on some of the things mentioned, as well as maybe why everything that went on. I don't know, just
Oh, I'm gonna research any of where the things are possibly in the Sandpoint to find before anyone else like Mokmurian or any of his associates can find it. Even though we killed Mokmurian, but
the stones. Okay,
yeah.
all right. So go ahead and make a. All right, so the librarian will basically be talking to Lily, since that's, Lily can speak Thessalonian, and that's what it speaks.
I picked that language out of random.
Yeah, so
Nice.
you kind of like work through Lily and talk to the librarian. He tells you where you might be able to find books on this stuff, and then he kind of just expects one of you to be able to just go fly down and grab whatever you're looking for. So once that's done, Cade, go ahead and make a knowledge history check. And you'll get a bonus because you're using the library's resources to.
And then did you already build in my +1 bonus from being a skald?
It should be in there already, yeah.
Okay, cool. You said knowledge history?
Yes.
Funk.
Okay, yeah, it is in there.
Can I use guidance on her?
Did not do good.
Sure.
Guidance.
All right, so
That was not great.
based on the materials that you guys turned up regarding ancient Thessalonian sort of like monuments and pretty much just like statues or other things like that of significance, you find that the map that you guys recovered from Mokmurian's possessions, as far as where the stones are,
Excuse me.
is pretty much accurate. It would seem that there is one of these stones hidden somewhere in Sandpoint, or perhaps even beneath Sandpoint.
Cade's gonna crudely copy like where it could be in each location just down in their journal.
Okay. Perfect. As you guys are still perusing that, the librarian we'll just continue to try to be helpful, and once again ask if you need help finding anything you're looking for or what you are looking for, in case there's any further texts that you want to look through or other research to be done.
Gonna look into about my dad.
All right, so
With just how big of a library this is, like the nobility line of my mother and whatever the fuck my dad does.
okay, so you ask for information on that. How descriptive are you being in terms of like explaining, like
So I'm
what your dad
explaining
is?
everything from my dad's name, what I know of him, the rumors I know about him, about possibly being a hunter of monsters while also being one. And just if there's anything of any record of anything like that, I guess, and where that might operate. And if is yeah.
Okay.
And then also but I'm gonna leave it at that I'm gonna leave it on.
Okay, so the Clockwork Librarian seems slightly confused. Doesn't know too much about vampires and such, but it does give you a suggestion for one or two books that you might try to thumb through for information on that. So he goes and grabs them himself, um, sets them down before you. You begin to.
Like I can't move back anymore.
You what? Oh.
Oh, sorry, I was talking cap in front of me. No.
No worries. So you begin to try to search through these books for any information on your family. Go ahead and make another knowledge history check.
History.
Okay.
Better.
You do find a few like scattered blurbs about vampires in some of the texts that the librarian has brought before you. Most of these deal with the history and practicing of just necromancy magic in general in ancient Thassalon. No mention of your family name or anything of the sort. The info you do get on vampires kind of just seems like vampire influence over Thassalon wasn't very high, and it their activities are relatively the same from way back then. 10,000 plus years in the past as they are now. But no information specifically about your family.
Some hope in the fact that I have an area I can eliminate looking.
Yeah, certainly. At least from when these history books and texts were written, there doesn't seem to be anything that would link your father to Thassalon. So in a sense, yeah, it is sort of like a.
Is there any hidden?
Something? Sorry.
I was gonna ask, is there any hidden entrances or treasure troves in this fortress? Maybe noted by like a map or something of the building.
Okay, so I would say that you would. I'd say you probably pull out like Kana's map for this. What she gave you. There are. Let me take a look at some of the previous maps here. She didn't really indicate much in the way of hidden passageways. Um, one of the ones that you guys found on your own was the one that led you from just outside the chamber where the kobold had been posted up into that
Okay.
other throne room where you guys fought that one stone giant who was kind of like a leader type. Uh, there doesn't seem to be any other indications of secret walls or doors. Just that one.
Okay, no secret tunnels. That's all we know. Okay.
No, yeah.
Um,
Any sort of secret tunnel is likely to be caved in anyway.
okay. I look at everyone else and I go, well, now that I've just like quizzed this person to death, anyone else have questions?
The names from the letters.
Oh, that's a good point.
Which letters?
I don't know. I asked out of care. Blah, blah, blah. Hey, Dino. I thought Dino was back. But I'm gonna guess the most recent letter.
Okay, so wait, the most recent thing found would have been the map of where these like stones are, and like I said, mentioned Zaliasa as is really just the only name on there. So yeah, you asked the clockwork librarian about Zaliasa. Um, Let me see if he would know anything about that.
Do they know anything about the Runelords?
So yeah, the the librarian the librarian doesn't know anyone by that name. Um, as far as the Runelords,
Alright, I'm back. We're doing? How we getting there?
he knows lots of things about the Runelords, and he knows also things about where to find things about Karzoug specifically, where to find things about Xin-Shalast specifically. Um,
I want to know their weaknesses.
Their weaknesses. Okay. Well, in that case, we are going to. All right. So, for starters, he is going to grab you a couple of more like generalized books about the Runelords. Um, Go ahead and roll another history check.
Guidance.
Okay, so
Oh,
with the bonus that you get from using the library's resources, that is pretty good. Um, so you begin sort of thumbing through this one book about the Runelords, and you eventually land on a section about the current group of Runelords, the 7 of them. So first thing that gets your attention is their names, as well as what sort of school of magic that they are tied to. So
nice.
you of course you find Karzoug's name there. He is a transmuter. Um, by the way, all of the Runelords are wizards, so that's just something to keep in mind.
Oh dear.
Yeah, so Karzoug is specialized in transmutation magic. He is the Rune Lord of Greed, or as stated in the books as well. They also list not only like the sin associated with the Rune Lord, but additionally sort of the virtue that is related to it. In fact, more often than not, you see them being referred to by the virtue rather than the sin, given that it's written by Thessalonians. So, as I said, Karzoug, Rune Lord of Greed. They also mention the virtue of generosity for him, since he, they kind of go hand in hand. The sin and the virtue sort of opposites. So the other names you see, Alasnist, who is the Rune Lord of Wrath, or in Thessalonian culture, they would have referred to her as being tied with the virtue of kindness. Bellamarius, who is the Rune Lord of Envy. She is often associated with virtues of charity, eager striving. Then there is Kroon, who is the Rune Lord of Sloth. Schools of Magic. Alasnus is an evoker. Bellamarius is an abjurer. Kroon is a conjurer. The next name you see is Sorshin, who she is the Rune Lord of Lust. Associated virtue being love. Then there is Xandergul, who is the Rune Lord of Pride, with the associated virtue there being humility. Sorshin, by the way, is she is an enchanter, I believe. Xandergul is an illusionist. And then finally, the seventh name is Zutha, who is the Rune Lord of Gluttony, with that associated virtue being temperance. And he is a necromancer.
So all of them are fuck around and find out.
Yeah, you read a bit further in, and you land on information that is more specific to Karzoug, which is obviously more tailored for your purposes. So you immediately begin sort of combing through that. You find a fair amount of information about him. So I'll start from the top here. So Karzoug was, as you now know, the Rune Lord of Greed. He was himself a human with an Aslanti background. And he was indeed very powerful. He is said to be the most gifted manipulator of transmutation magic in all of Thassalon. And he is said to have lived for hundreds of years. He ruled a region that was called Shalast, which was part of the ancient empire of Thassalon over 10,000 years ago. You skim a little further, and then you land on some information related to his followers, his armies, cultists, what have you. His armies were composed primarily of giants, and those giants followed his every command. The giants themselves were ruled by other giants who known as specifically rune giants, and those rune giants themselves were simply pawns to the Runelords as well. Karzoug counted other powerful creatures as allies as well, such as blue dragons, eerie denizens from the nightmare realm known as Leng, blood-drinking outsiders known as Scarlet Walkers, and immense Lamia Harridans who towered over most giants. And you see sort of a rough drawing of what a Lamia Harridan looks like in the book. It almost resembles like a centaur, actually. Just much more large and like fearsome looking. Continuing on, you find a section about his own magical prowess. So he focuses magic on the school of transmutation, as you know. In the times of ancient Thassalon, this magic was associated with the virtue of wealth. Under his reign, however, the virtue of rule became more associated with the sin of greed. Among the Runelords, his mastery of greed magic was uncontested, yet in the schools of illusion and enchantment magic, which are related to the sins of pride and lust respectively, his skills had atrophied by quite a bit. Many believed that weapons that are infused with illusion and enchantment magic, which are known as dominant weapons, would be particularly potent against Karzoug. Yet no record of someone attacking the Runelord with such a weapon exists in this book, or really in any of the others that the librarian brought to you. Now, Lily is basically tasked with like reading this stuff because she is the only one who is versed in the Thessalonian language. Those of you who are perhaps huddled around besides Cade while she's reading this, if you would like to also make a history check to see if you can maybe help out or spot anything that may have been missed, you are welcome to do so. What is that noise?
What noise?
I don't know. I just hear noise coming from somebody, like something like some like background noise.
Ground feedback.
I don't know. It doesn't sound like feedback. Could be echo.
Sounds like a yeah, it's an echo.
Yeah, could be. All right. I'm not too concerned with it though. But yeah, anyone else who is kind of huddled around looking at the book along with Lily and Cade, if you'd like to make a history check, you're more than welcome.
Can I make a history check?
Well, yeah, you especially can because you're reading it, but anyone else who is...
I'll make one.
Aww.
All the guidance.
I want to make another history check.
Oh, let me hold on. Not that that really helps you much, but I gotta remove the blinding condition from your box. What's up?
Are the Runelords pretty much like generation by generation group, or is this just one group of people?
So it would seem that the Runelords are it's sort of like a term for like the rulers of various parts of the old Thessalonian Empire who were known for being the most skilled at their chosen schools of magic.
And roughly how long have they been alive?
Well, the empire existed like 10,000 years ago. Karzoug himself was said to have lived for hundreds of years. You haven't Let's see. None of you rolled high enough to gain any additional information, so let me do that. Oh, I gotta remove that from her too. So yeah, same thing. Yeah, so Lily, you continue to look through the book. Um, you do so a little bit hastily because you guys are trying to collect as much knowledge as you can quickly. But yeah, you don't get any additional knowledge from this particular book. By the time you're done reading all of that, the librarian rather, who has located a couple more books, sets them down in front of you, and he continues to just find whatever he thinks would be useful to your cause. He sets one in particular down in front of you, which is more specifically about Xin-Shalast. Can make another round of history checks to learn about that, or if you'd like to continue trying to comb for information about Karzoug, you can make checks for that as well.
Guidance on everyone.
Ooh, look at that.
Oh.
All right. So I'll start with what I was already talking about, just for the sake of not having to go back and forth in the conversation. Wow. Okay. So
Yes.
it's at this point that Lily and Cade kind of look at each other and they think they almost come to the same conclusion at the exact same time, which is there must be something that we missed. This doesn't seem like enough information. And so the two of you decide to continue kind of looking through the same book that you had already been looking at. And you do, in fact, find some new information that you had sort of glossed over before. First off, Karzoug was fairly known among the Runelords for oftentimes going to war with his neighbors. Um, the Rune Lord that he engaged with most often was Elasnist, the Rune Lord of Wrath. She ruled a nation within Thassalon known as Bakra-Khan. Between their two nations, there was a ridge, simply known as the Rasp. It didn't have like any kind of like fancy name to it. It was just called the Rasp. Karzoug had built several immense sentinel statues to watch over Elasnus' nation of Bakra-Khan, while Elasnus herself built towers called Hellfire Flumes to prevent Karzoug's armies from invading. Citizens of both nations were very worried that the war between the two Rune Lords would soon escalate to the point where they could bring about the end of the world. And that sort of spurs you on to continue reading on this topic, and you locate another important bit of information, which is as the war between Karzoug and Elasnus intensified, and other Rune Lords began to war with each other as well. The combined destruction and battling began to threaten more than just the armies of the Rune Lords themselves. The Rune Lords ended up devising methods by which they could escape the world and enter sort of a state of suspended animation so that they could ride out any sort of cataclysmic effect that could occur. In theory, their surviving minions would then reawaken them to claim their empires once more once said cataclysms had ended. So that is all the information that you can gather about Karzoug himself. I'll ask for another round of checks for the new books that the librarian had set before you regarding Xin-Shalast.
Guidance.
I'd be rolling for history, right?
Yeah, so history checks again.
Aww.
All right, so that is 13 plus the bonus that you get for using Jorgenfist's resources. Okay, Cade. All right, so I'll start with what Lily gathers on her own first. So Lily, you open this book about Xin-Shalast, and you start reading, and you get through the sort of introductory paragraphs where it explains exactly what Xin-Shalast is supposed to be. It is a legendary lost city that is rumored to be hidden somewhere in the Kodar Mountains. Stories hold that Xin-Shalast had gold streets and buildings made of gemstones, and sat under the gaze of a mountain that could see. Next, you read on. Xin-Shalast was the capital city of an empire that was simply called Shalast. One of 7 that composed the ancient sort of overarching empire of Thassalon itself. Legend holds that Xin-Shalast lay at the headwaters of the sacred river Ava, which Varisian folklore says leads to an earthly paradise sacred to Desna. Unfortunately, no record of where this river may have once flowed exists today, and most scholars believe that the river itself has been destroyed during a cataclysmic level event that is known as Earthfall. Then it goes on to talk about Earthfall a little bit. And as it continues, you lose focus a little bit, and Cade kind of just points at something in the book and is like, "I don't know what this is, but these characters look interesting because it's just written in Thassalon. It's all gibberish to Cade, but Cade is just like, that. Read that. I like the way that looks." And so you do. In the final centuries before Earthfall ended Thassalon, Xin-Shalast was ruled by Karzoug. And the primary architects of his immense city were tribes of giants themselves, ruled by the Rune Giants, as I covered a bit earlier. The next bit of info is that the spires of Xin-Shalast stand upon the mythical mountain known as Mar Massif. This mountain of legendary proportions pierces the skies above the Kodars, and is said to be the highest peak in the entire range of these stupendously inhospitable mountains. Others, I'll roll for the people who aren't here, just to add some rolls here, just in case something.
Giants.
Just in case one of them rolls high enough. No, they didn't roll high enough to learn any more than that.
Damn.
But yeah, that is a fair amount of info overall. Are there any other topics that you want to have the librarian go and retrieve books?
I'd like some information on some ancient substances.
If I need dream.
Naturally.
Herbs and spices and whatnot.
But before that, I want to know what the hell is so important about the Runeforge that Karzoug is after it.
Sorry, I was trying to look up what Dream was asking. Dino, what do you want to know again? I'm sorry.
I want to know what is Runeforge and why is it so important?
Okay, so you want to know about Runeforge. All right. So the librarian departs once again. He brings back a smaller assortment of books this time. There doesn't appear to be quite as much on Runeforge. But go ahead and roll a history check, and I'll let you know what you find.
I'll roll one too.
Yeah, you can too, because you're the one reading it. So
No, I'm hurt.
F in the chat.
God damn it, Cade!
Cade, help us.
Help us, kid! You're our only hope!
I just closed on myself on my chair coming back to this. We're good. I rolled. I can't even see the screen.
It's a good roll.
Okay, that's good.
All right,
Yeah, it's
so
like a 22.
friends help out too. All right, so you do manage to get some little bits of lore about Runeforge from these books. So for starters, again, sort of reading the introductory stuff in the book, it explains that Runeforge was created as a place where agents of the 7 Runelords could gather to study magic. The Runelords wanted to protect this place from outsiders, so they wove various wards around Runeforge that barred entrance into the complex to any Rune Lord themselves or any direct agents. So, in addition to wanting to keep it away from normal people, they decided that they didn't want um, any research that was done inside to fall into the hands of an enemy. Only, trusted servants, but not anyone like super high level in terms of nobody's like none of the rune lords are in there themselves. None of their like right hand people are in there. But it's followers of the rune lords that wanted to study magic and improve their skills and just uh, have sort of like a safer place where they can study. That was sort of the point of the whole thing. The magical enhancements in Runeforge sustain anyone inside of it, so no one who is currently in Runeforge, or really no one in there at all, is under a requirement to keep themselves sustained by eating and drinking, or even sleeping. The magical energies within are enough to give proper sustenance to anyone inside. Finally, you also pick up that the the topic of the book shifts a little bit to Xin-Shalast again, stating that the spires stand upon the mountain known as Mar Massif, and that mountain itself pierces the skies at a much higher altitude than even the rest of the Kodar Mountains.
That's what I think about that map.
Continuing on, you also find that similarly to one of the bits of important knowledge you found when reading about Karzoug, the sort of final project that the Rune Lords set those of their followers who were inside of Runeforge upon was to develop and determine ways that the Rune Lords could escape should the Empire appear to be falling for any reason. Each of the Rune Lords' sort of factions of followers developed a unique answer that is meant to be amenable with their Rune Lord, as well as what their desires were. And all of those solutions are based upon any underlying principles of the magical traditions that said group would have.
Can y'all hear me?
Yes.
Now we do.
Can hear you now.
I lost fucking internet for a second.
Oh no.
I was wondering why it got so quiet.
Yeah.
Meaning, like, we paused to let you speak, and like nothing came out, and it was concerning.
Yeah, I didn't hear anything.
So, Jareem had a question he wanted answered by the library, and I have a question I want answered by the library.
Oh right, the drugs. So you you go back to the books on Xin-Shalast a bit when it comes to dreams questioning. Many of the vices that are listed in those books as having been enjoyed by people in ancient Thassalon, roughly the same items that you are familiar with yourself. Obviously not quite as wide of a range, but some of the more simple substances like Sanish is one that you find a bit about. There's another drug that you haven't personally tried yet called Pesh. That is mentioned. Sharp sugar is mentioned. You don't see, strangely, you don't see any mention of things like Fate's hair. Is a prominent one that you notice is not present in the ancient books. It does strike you as a little bit of odd, considering that you would know from your using it that, well, at least you would assume that people who have any sort of, paranoid tendencies like some of these Runelords did based on reading about them, you would think that some of them would want to have, a quick way of divination that Fate's hair kind of provides, but no mention of it.
They were fucking up.
Yeah, that's a fair conclusion for you to come to, that they were fucking up. I totally get it. All right, so Kat, what did you want to know?
So, Kat's gonna kind of whisper this quietly. Just go. I want to know if there's a way for me to get home.
Can you just kind of like choke up a little at hearing that, tear up, and just kind of slap Cat's arm without saying anything, and just be like puppy eye staring at her, be like,
Let me figure out this answer, and then I promise there's a second part to it. Is it okay if I split this question into two?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, so because it's technically a two-part. Okay, so the first question is there a way for me to get back home? I feel like I'm playing with the Magic 8 Ball.
Okay, so
oh, I understand.
the librarian is somewhat confused. It points over to some of the books on Runeforge specifically. It believes that you might find an answer in there, and you begin to thumb through those books. The first thing that you sort of realize with Lily's help in reading the text is that you would need some kind of method of planar travel to get out of there. There doesn't seem to be any known method of getting inside through planar travel type of magic alone, as there is no known instance of a tuning fork that is keyed to Runeforge. However, as you read on, you do find a small section indicating that there may be a freestanding portal that exists inside Runeforge that could potentially be used to get around to other planes. So that does give you like a little bit of hope that perhaps that would be your way back home.
If I did use this portal, would I be able to come back?
So again, kind of tying into what I was mentioning with planar travel, there's no knowledge of being able to get in there just that easily. Like simply saying, oh, just as an example, like, oh, I'm going to use plane shift to get into Runeforge. That there doesn't appear to be any sort of precedent for something like that, because as I said, there's no known knowledge of any tuning fork that would allow you to go there. As far as getting back to Golarion itself, there isn't really any new info. Well, not, I don't mean new because these books are really old, but there doesn't seem to be any more info about that you don't already know. But you would assume that just get yourself a tuning fork that is attuned towards Galarion's material plane, and you at least have a chance to get there, to get back.
I actually have an out of character question.
Okay.
How much does Kat actually know about planeswalking?
I would say probably not a lot.
Okay.
It's not something that you ever really needed to do as a pirate in your old life. I would say it's being a pretty prolific magic user. I would say that it's something that you've heard about before. Nothing that you've been able to practice yourself, or again, not too many pirates are wielding that kind of magical power, so it's not really something you've encountered in your travels much either.
Alright, so Kat puts down the book and looks at this and realizes that she's probably never going to see her family again, and that settling down is likely the right choice. But it's going to take a while for her to process that.
Kate's not speaking to her right now because there's the initial shock of, peace out, Cub Scouts, I'm out. And that was even a possibility. Kate's going, wait, what?
Kat's just going to look at Kate and be like, I don't intend on living. But I couldn't not look at the possibility of seeing my younger siblings again.
I mean, yeah, okay, I get that in logical sense, but at first, all my brain went, I want to leave. Kate's just looking around at everyone and going, please don't leave.
Well, apparently I'm not going anywhere. I really don't know much about planeswalking, and this was not as helpful as I was hoping. So yeah.
Kate just goes,
Theo just shakes his head. Don't worry about it too much, Kat. If you find a way here, there's certainly a way out.
And also, you have friends in us, so we'll help you.
Wait, hold on. Do they actually know that Kat's from like a different world? Have they like pieced that together, or? Okay.
Yes.
I imagine you like telling us what to look for because you can't read Thessalonian either. So we probably figured that out by now.
Oh yeah. Okay. Cool.
I can read Thessalonian. Woo!
Oh, you're very helpful, and I appreciate you actually immensely. As I
I really do appreciate you. I can read Goblin. Is there anything in Goblin?
Oh, I do.
No, everything that's in here is written in Thessalonian.
Wait, hold up.
Oh.
Read magic. Wait, no, I don't have read. Wait, I do have read magic.
Yeah, I mean there were some other scrolls that were kind of just laying around once earlier when you guys grabbed the remove blindness one that ended up disintegrating.
Not that I have read magic.
Okay. So any other research? Search, searching things in the library or
EC.
asking.
We know what the Hellfire Flume is. We know what the Runeforge is. Do we know who the hell Xin-Shalast is?
Oh, Zaliasa. Let's see here. I'm scrolling the wrong way here on my notes. All right, so again, the librarian doesn't recognize the name straight away. It has recently brought back another couple of books. One of them that piques interest was a book about the end of the empire. You and Dino, you and Lily make a history check for this one.
Yep.
Woo!
Lily gets guidance. Go.
Okay. So hidden pretty deep inside of this book, you find a short passage about a man who was a bit really known during the end of the period of the ending period of the empire because he was something of a double agent. Yeah, I mean Dino can make a check if he wants.
I'm not trained in it at
You
all.
don't, because you're using the library, you don't have to be trained in it.
Oh, good. YOLO. Guidance.
Okay.
Hey, that's not bad at all.
It's like, I'll
You-
take that.
You were worried about not being trained in it.
I was, but then I'm cause reminded that I'm all more awesome than I realized. Let's fucking go.
Ugh.
Let's go.
So there's a short passage which the more Lily reads it, the more it kind of seems like it's just like conjecture rather than straight up factual history. However, it does mention that there was a man who was tasked with operating one of Alasnus' hellfire flumes, and that this man had unfortunately succumbed to influences of greed that had been trying to work against his goals. And so, in a sense, he ended up also doing the bidding of Karzoug in addition to Alasnus. Later on in this little blurb, it talks about how there was a theory that this man, who again is not like specifically named, but it also mentions that this man had potentially a third master, being the mother of monsters, Lamashtu. So, with that knowledge in hand, all of you have a suspicion that this is the Zaliasa, the traitorous Zaliasa that was mentioned on Mokmurian's map, even though he's not outed by name.
He worked for the Mother of Monsters, and for some reason she wanted the Empire to be gone, and he said, "Why not?"
Sort of. It makes mention that he started out and for most of his life had been, working with Elazis very closely. She thought very highly of him. Gave him one of these Hellfire flumes to run. Um, but influences upon his soul caused him to succumb to greed, as well as a growing faith within him that his sort of true savior would be Lamashtu rather than the Runelords. So he was a very conflicted person who definitely had some acts of betrayal in his life.
Alright. So, the only names we know of. I'm just because I'm curious. Question.
Sure.
What was the most powerful druid at the time, and how would they stand up against one of the Runelords?
The librarian brings back a book, another sort of like general history book. It makes mention that druids were not particularly prevalent in Thassalon. For the most part, the people who rose to power were arcane casters, mostly wizards, sometimes others like sorcerers. Runelords themselves were always wizards. Uh, as far as druids are concerned, really none that rose to a similar level of prominence. If such a druid did exist, then the historians of Thassalon either didn't know about them or sort of intentionally omitted their exploits in the historical texts here.
Neat. Worth asking about. I got no more questions personally. We know what the hell the Hellfire plumes are. We have an idea why the Runeforge is so important to this guy. And I say we go along and kill everything.
Of course you'd say that.
King and Queen, and this is me, sitting 5 seats away from the throne. But
Kill them all. The Dino way.
Dino way. With dinosaurs and unparalleled violence.
All right. So, unbeknownst to you, of course, because you are all a few hundred feet below the ground in this fortress, all of this research that you've conducted basically takes you the rest of the day. Like I said, if there are any more questions or other topics you want to try and gain some information on, just let me know. For the time being, though,
The only last thing I was going to ask is, what were the last books checked out by Mokmurian and, well, anyone else who was here right before us? Like, not the book that Lily took out and it crumbled to dust, but any books that were recently checked.
So the librarian simply tells Lily that none of the books that reside here are ever really taken out of the library, mostly because they would
Oh no, I meant like the taken out as in like came in here and asked to look and read while in the library.
Oh,
Like,
so in that case, the librarian tells Lily that Mokmurian was already very well versed in the history of Xin-Shalast as well as Karzoug himself, just from the amount of time that he spent in the fortress. More often than not, the books that Mokmurian would come to read here were books relating to specific magical spells and sort of just the historical presence and significance of transmutation magic within Karzoug's own territory. Basically, Mokmurian was always trying to fine tune his own skills and acquire more magic at his disposal so that he could really ascend to the same level of greatness that Karzoug once enjoyed.
all right, cool. I just wanted to make sure there wasn't any like hidden information that would be revealed by checking out who read what last.
You know, it was a good thought. So I have advanced the day, given how long it's taken to get all this research done. Those of you who can prepare spells, don't do them just yet, as you will need to rest before you can do so. But in terms of clock and calendar, it has moved to the next day, so it's now toil day. Or no, sorry, not toil day. Toil day would be the day before. It was wheel day, so now it's oath day.
Alright, got all the information we need. Where's our next move? Good talk. My main plan is to go to Magnimar and upgrade the ever-living shit out of our gear.
I was muted. I was answering, and then you said good talk, and I realized you could not hear me. I was saying similar. We should take all this loot and go sell it and do shit. Also, we should check out Sandpoint for wherever the fucking stone is, because, well, someone else is definitely going to come looking for it.
Sure, but the question is, do we go to Magnimar first and gear up, or do we go to Sandpoint first?
Gear up first.
Okay.
Gear up first.
So.
What the fuck is Europe?
I don't know, man. It's a silly place. Okay. So, luckily for you guys, well, I assume you guys gonna rest first, or?
For sure.
All right. So that's going to be some hit points recovered. As well as for dream at least 1 point of constitution damage recovered.
I will be right back.
Let's get 1 point recovered. Let's go.
Alright, I have to go through now and make sure that other people who had ability damage get that wiped out, or at least 1 point of it wiped out, because that's what happens. So let's see. Yep, Dino doesn't have any more. Urslan didn't in the first place. Cade. Cade's good.
Getting rid of chompers as well.
Yep. Cat's good.
Shit, that reminds me.
What's up?
I forgot to do my ranks.
Oh yeah, take care of that real quick.
Okay.
All right, so yeah, those of you with the ability to prep spells, go ahead and take care of that. You guys get a full good rest of 8 hours. No issues. No creepy crawlies or anything like that sneaking up on you in the night. You're pretty well fortified inside of this library. And since you enter with the key, there's nothing that can come out of the door to harm you, since you basically had rightful passage. All right.
Before my spells, question:
Yes.
how many of us are still blinded, and how many of us can cure blind?
The only things that are still blinded are Babu and the two familiars. All the people are able to see.
Alright, cool. I'm assuming that everyone else can fix up with their own, like cure blindness from Edge and Urslan.
Yeah, I would say Urslan would utilize one of those spells to cure Fluffy's blindness. Edge, who gets a couple of slots for that level, will do the same for Babu and Aurelius.
Alright, dope. Now I can prepare the best spell.
What spell may that be?
Oh, it's a secret.
Of course it is.
I'm just gonna start like popping off all the tiny little cantrips I have. So it'd be like, we were talking about spells. I got spells.
I've always had spells.
The kid just kind of grins and goes, I have a lot of spells. About 8 different cantrips at once. I'm gonna poke Dino, make him resistant. I'm gonna go, ta-da! North is that way, point in the right direction. I'm gonna charm Cat into just being friendlier to me than usual. Gonna make some weird smoke thing pop up over Lily's head. I'm gonna blind dream for the fucking shit of it. And then I'm gonna tap fucking Edge on the shoulder with a mage hand. And then I'm gonna start a little spark in the air right in front of me with just cause I can. And just look at Dino and go, spells! A lot of spells!
Oh my goodness, what have you done?
You've created a monster. That's what we've done.
Yeah. In the interest of getting through this quickly, I'll roll related saves. So Cat is not affected by Unwitting Ally. Jareem.
That's like Cat's just gonna look at her like, while I admire the effort. You can't charm the queen of charm person.
He just goes, but more friends!
We are friends and I love you, but no.
Dream is dazzled by the flare.
Is he blind? Is he permanently blinded?
No, he's not
No.
blinded. He's not blinded. He's
Just dazzled. Just dazzled.
We'll just say Dream thinks it's cool and just won't stop looking at it. But yeah, so if you guys are heading off to Magnimar,
Off to see the wizard, the wonderful Wizard of Oz. That's Magnimar.
I assume the method of travel is going to be teleport, or are you going to utilize some other
Teleport.
means?
I'm gonna look at Kat and go, please don't leave us behind, but can you teleport us?
That's like, I'm not leaving you.
Kate's got trauma bond issues. Hello.
All right, so in order to get everyone there, so let's see. All right, so given the amount of creatures involved here, as well as Chopper being large, so he counts as effectively more than one for the purposes of the spell, it is going to take 3 castings of teleport to get everyone to Magnimar, as it is 1 to get some of you to Magnimar, another for Cat to go back and retrieve everyone else, and then getting them to Magnimar. So I've checked those off, and I'm going to move you to Magnimar map once I find it. All right. Yeah, Edge is still with you guys for now. Now that I think about it, I kind of forgot about him, but yeah, for the time being, Edge is still there. Gotta get the new dream token on the map. Go. And 1, 2, 3. Lily, of course, has to be on the map. And Edge's correct token. As well as Dino's token. Let's see here. Yep, these are all the right ones. Okay. So, Magnimar. Where to?
You know where I'm going.
The brothel?
Jabrail. You're close though.
You're
I'm
not
following.
You're not in Sandpoint though.
Oh, I thought we were.
Yeah,
I'm
no,
just-
Is there an equivalent?
I mean, Magnimar is
All of Magnimar is an equivalent.
Wait, this is Magnimar?
I'm going on a search.
I'm gonna go visit my family.
okay.
Lily's gonna be like, okay, adventuring with you all is absolute fucking chaos. I don't know when I'll ever get a chance to do this again. I'm gonna let you guys do whatever you're doing. Meet me in like 2 days. That's how I'm imagining that going down.
But yeah, Magnimar is a large city. There are certainly seedy underbellies here, and you will have very little issue finding drugs, because I'm sure that's what you're after.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So.
Actually, I can show Dream the underside belly.
Let's do it.
Belly.
All right. So.
That's the best way to say that.
Lily, instead of.
No. I'm showing him around first, then I'm visiting my family.
Yeah. Instead of going to the family straight away, Lily decides to be an enabler and.
It's better than him being lost there and just finding his own things. You're like, I'm gonna take you to the sources I somewhat trust and drop you off there. Good luck.
I can handle myself.
Yes.
Be a whole city of undead by the time I'm through with them.
Okay. Kay just kind of looks at him and goes, do you need help?
No.
Sad. Kate's losing all their friends.
You're not losing any of us. Guys, like, you're not losing any of us. We're right here.
I mean, I'm just visiting.
Prestidigitation of like a little doom cloud of rain above Kate's head for the next 15 minutes.
I'm just visiting my family. I'll be
Nah,
back.
Kate can help.
Kate hasn't pinned him in his shoes. Kate's fine. It's cool. Kate goes, I want to go find drugs with you. Is that fine? And then I look at Dino and and then I open my bag of holding, and then I look at Dino, and when he's not paying attention, I kind of like pull on his bag of holding, and just like dump all the random loot we found that no one claimed into his bag and go, I trust you to do the shopping.
Oh, cool.
Just watching this, like, the fuck?
He goes, for once, I will not be over encumbered, damn it. And then you see me take the 2 axes and then go, no, those are mine.
Hey, the melee fighter. Not bad at all.
All right, let's get going.
He just bounces
Good, Lily.
after.
Actually, wait. What's a meeting spot we can go to? What do you think? Do you know?
I think a good meeting spot would be. Meet at Beacon's Point. Why not?
Yeah. Okay. I'll see you back there then.
Ow.
All right. So Lily takes Dream over to the Low Clef district, specifically to a place known as the Dreaming Dryad.
I like it already.
Which, although it gives the appearance of being a premium sort of inn, when you walk inside, you realize that it is nothing more than a high-class drug den.
Ah. Dream's just gonna take a deep breath.
Nice.
Yes, and through this deep breath of yours, you are greeted with the sweet aromas of various substances being burned, smoked, otherwise. There are also a number of hookah bars that are around here that also contribute to the smell that's coming in. You feel like you're with your people here.
Yeah, I can live here.
But you're not going to. Got it?
Never know.
Hey.
Kate just kind of looks back and forth between Lily and Dream and going, I'll try and make sure we don't live here.
The two of you are greeted by a sort of a younger human man. Appears to be 20s, 30s, maybe. He steps out from behind a curtain, and he has some stuff in hand, and he greets the two of you and says, "Oh, it's always nice to see some new faces in here. What can I get you?"
You guys have a menu or something?
Oh, for sure. Let me grab that for you.
Kate just kind of goes, is there anything that'll make every senses heightened? Like colors easier to see, sounds easier to hear, things that vibrant world, nice feeling things. Kate just trails off going, I don't know what I'm doing. I'm looking desperately at Dream being like, he just gives me things and I take them. I have no idea what to look for.
The man says, "Well, that could be a number of things, but here's our menu. Look it over. Let me know if you need anything." And listed off on the menu, first is one that everyone is familiar with, the powdered order. He's got that
Nice.
right now.
I have that.
He has another thing called shadow sage. There's a little picture of it. It looks like a pitch black, sort of like a root of a plant. There's a note underneath the name that says, use this if you want to experience the deepest sleep of your life. But there is sort of like a word of caution that overuse can result in heart problems.
Yeah, I'm gonna take some of that. I could definitely use that.
Let's see what else here. He has another one that you're familiar with. He has sharp sugar.
Might re-up on some sharp sugar. Running out.
There is another one that is simply called barb. It picture looks like a purplish thorn. They are priced to sell by like a whole branch of the stuff rather than individual doses. Branch comes with so many of these thorns that you can kind of pull off and utilize yourself. Basically, the method of use here is you take a thorn and you scrape against your skin with it, or potentially even stab yourself with it. The effects are similar to weed. However, there's another note of caution here that abuse of this drug can result in paralysis.
Oh yeah, I need some of that.
So Dream's gonna intentionally make people OD by this drug and just watch them sit there and be like, "Oh, you can't move."
Listen,
Huh.
porcupine grenades. This is perfect for fucking porcupine grenades.
Oh my god.
Gives it that extra kick, you know?
You're gonna bring doom on everyone. I love it.
Make a perception check looking at the menu.
Is it like invisible ink? I can never find it there.
Okay, so you notice that there are certain letters on the menu that are written in a different color ink, whereas most of the menu is written in black ink. The different coded letters are blue. You manage to rearrange the letters that are written in blue, and the proprietor here he's noticing you staring extra hard at the menu, and kind of like running your finger along it and stopping on like the different letters, and he actually roll sense motive. He's attempting to sort of like not give away something here, so go ahead and roll that sense motive.
Gonna sense a motive.
Am I still with them?
Yeah.
I'm gonna look at him and say, blue means for you.
He laughs a bit. There was a bit of a look of excitement coming over him as you were figuring out this sort of interesting little puzzle that he's created on his menu here. Eventually, you think you have it figured out, and you kind of express like like what does this mean sort of sentiment, and he a wide grin comes over his face, and he goes to the back and retrieves something for you. It appears to be a thick, sort of like sticky looking substance that is in a comes in like a flask, and he says, I only show this to the wisest of customers.
You got a wise one.
So this is copy paste what this is and what it does. Change one bit of text here.
Wow.
Yes, please.
So he makes it clear to you that this is a very high risk drug to take, as it can kill you, but he notes that those who survive it usually are left with a fantastic story to tell that tends to be of something that hasn't happened yet.
Oh, dude.
Don't tempt him.
And he's just going in his ear. Do it. Do it. Do it.
I mean, I'm taking some.
Do it.
Cade,
Do it.
stop.
Kate just looks over at Lily and goes, "It's fine. He's immune to disease."
And Cade's
Do it.
taking some with me.
Kate goes, "I'm taking some with him. Fuck it."
Hey, I give up on you two. I'm going to my family.
Kate just kind of hugs Lily and goes, "I think that's a safe plan."
I'm just gonna head out the door now.
All right, so
With a headache.
Lily departs to head off to her family
With a headache.
with a headache. Okay.
You left us behind. You shouldn't have a headache.
I will use a 6th level magic spell to find you, and you're gonna like it.
Oh no.
All right, so the band looks at Dream and says, "Okay, how much of everything would you like?"
Okay, so I'm gonna take 10 bushels of the barb. 5 doses of the shadow root. Is that what it's called?
Shadow Sage, yeah.
Shadow Sage. What was the other one?
Sharp Sugar and Powdered Order, which you've got those already. I mean, in different
Yeah, I have
amounts.
those.
And then the sap.
And I'll take 2 doses of the sap.
All right. So he makes it known that the sap ain't cheap, but he also notes that you give the appearance of someone who is well traveled, and so you'll find this a worthwhile experience should you survive it, of course.
Ain't cheap and I ain't broke.
He bundles up the couple doses of the sap, as well as 10 branches of the barb and 5 doses of the shadow sage, and he looks it over and says, "This is going to cost you roughly 200 gold."
No, give me 5 more bushels of the barb.
All right, sounds good. And
I'm gonna look at Cade and I'm gonna say we're saving the sap for when we need it,
Cade
but we're
just
doing
goes-
it together.
Kate just goes, "All right, fair." And then I'm just excited about everything that Dream just bought, and just kind of hands him some coins and goes, "For my inevitable usage of some later."
Yep. We're gonna have to test the barbs out to see how effective they can be.
So
Exactly.
he goes, since you're getting so much, I'll throw in the extra
barb for a little cheaper. So it'll bring the total to 220.
I'll hand it over to him.
All right. He happily takes it from you, and he bids you good luck in your drug endeavors, and if you're using the drugs to fuel your adventures too, then it's the same luck for that as well.
Thank you, sir.
Go ahead into my family.
Oh, just one question for
Sure. What do you need to know, friend?
How many barbs does it take to experience paralysis?
In my experience, it's difficult to get yourself paralyzed by it.
So how?
I've heard stories of men doing an entire branch in a day, and that's just silly. Anyone who does that much is just begging for trouble.
So say if I wanted to effectively paralyze someone, how many barbs would they need to get pushed into them?
Well, I would say quite a few. Well, there are roughly 15 or 20 doses per branch. I would say about a branch worth in one.
Okay. That's without any tolerance, of course. So.
Oh, yes, of course.
All right. And with that, I will take my leave.
All right. So with that, Lily, you go back to your old family home. You go inside, and your parents are out working, as it's the middle of the day on Oath Day. But your brother is home. He kind of just slowly comes out of his room, just spurred on by the sound of someone entering and not being sure who it is. He looks a bit better than when you left, but still looks pretty sickly.
Wave at him and hold out my arms.
Yeah, he slowly makes his way over to you and gives you a nice warm embrace. He just the sight of you seems to have elevated his spirits a bit.
Have you been? Seem to be doing better?
Well, I have my good days and my bad days, but seeing you here, well, that makes it a good day no matter what happens. Have you been?
I've been doing pretty well myself. I met a group of adventurers, and hopefully we'll find something to help you.
Oh, that's wonderful news.
Yeah. Made my journey of leaving all the more worth it. If it helps you.
Sweet.
Have you, I know you've been working hard on your magic and your desire to help people. Have you learned anything new since you've been gone?
I've learned a lot. Yeah.
Could I see any of it?
I've learned this one spell called Hero's Feast. Basically, create a table where anyone can think of anything to eat, and they get to eat it.
Says a random voice through the wind.
Oh wow, so you can just make everyone their favorite foods with magic.
Yeah, you wanna see it?
Well, sure, I could go for a bite to eat.
Boom.
All right, so you prepare a feast of all of his favorite foods. You feel free to determine what those are.
Some chicken, ramen, cheesecake, fried chicken.
I like these plans.
So then, yeah, all of your brother's favorite foods appear before him. He sits down and tries everything that you've laid out, and you can tell that he is excited to have such a plentiful meal in front of him. And you also notice that the more he eats, the better he looks. He appears to be a bit more strong in terms of being able to eat by himself, handle cutlery. He's less like jittery and like obviously sick. So yeah, I would say that the Hero's Feast has done its job for him.
Yay!
You looking better already, little bro. I'm glad.
Oh, me too. I haven't had a meal like this in far too long.
Maybe I should have saved this for our parents as well. Or, well, for Mom.
Leftovers.
Maybe.
Where is... Go ahead, sorry.
Oh, he just says, yeah, maybe a few more of these and I'll feel good as new.
Perhaps. Where is our mom, by the way? Where is she?
Oh, she's been running errands all day. I think at least that's what she told me when she left in the morning. Just going to a few of the shops, seeing if there are any sort of trinkets or other even potions or other things that could maybe help me, but I'm not always the most hopeful when she goes on these shopping trips. Usually she isn't able to find what she's looking for.
Oh, that's quite unfortunate. I know the struggle.
Yeah. But maybe she should get to try some of this food too, and maybe then she'll know a little bit more of where to find what she needs.
Of course, yeah. I can use the spell again later tonight when she comes home.
Oh, wonderful.
It'd be nice to see her again.
Yes, I'm sure she misses you very much.
She been doing well. Probably should ask that first.
Oh, don't worry. Yeah, she's doing fine. Of course, she misses you when you're out on your adventures, but she knows it's for the greater good of the family and the world.
No, I'm glad she understands.
Yeah, I don't think she I don't think she had much of an issue with that. She's always been very understanding.
Mm. That we can both agree on.
Where did you learn to do this? This food is fantastic. Some of this is really the best I've ever had.
Something I picked up along my adventures with the group.
It's really quite impressive.
Yeah, there's this other spell. It's like a lower level spell, but can basically conjure some coils and trap an enemy, and we can just basically kill them off without any hesitation.
Oh wow, that's exciting.
Yeah.
I'm sure your friends are all thrilled when you pull that one out.
Oh yeah. Just recently, we went up against a very smart giant. I think it was like a rock giant. But yeah, I used a spell on him, and like 2 people just unleashed hell on him.
Plus a dinosaur, as I say in your head.
And a dinosaur.
A dinosaur? Wow.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I have an old friend named Dino, and he has a pet dinosaur. It's a T-Rex.
It's a very fitting name for someone that deals with dinosaurs.
I know, right? Yeah, he can summon other dinosaurs too. I can't remember the name. I think one of them was like called an Ankylosaurus. But yeah, he can summon different types of dinosaurs.
I wonder where he learned to do that.
I don't know. He kind of disappeared for a while.
School of Hard Knocks.
Where'd you learn how to do that? Prison.
It depends how you look at it.
Yeah. But yeah, so like I said, your brother looks even better than when you found him, and even when you first found him was an improvement over when you left. It really seems that between you being back home and having this nice conversation with him and providing him with all of his favorite foods, he doesn't just look better. It's his voice sounds more clear, and there's more force behind it. He really seems like he's been strengthened by what you've done for him here.
Hey, that's nice. Lily's just gonna chill out at their home now, waiting for Mom.
Okay, so yeah, you're gonna sit there and wait. All right, what's everybody else doing?
Gotta sell some items and get that sweet upgraded loot.
Of course you are.
Yes. Do it.
I mean, you should, because in fact we're dealing with something,
Good.
apparently something that's
Good.
worse than giants.
I have important matters to take care of.
I support you in this.
So do I. It's called making sure our asses stay alive.
I don't want
Drink and find a bookstore.
I drink and I know things. That's what I just. That's Cat right now.
Pretty much, yeah.
Cat finds a bookstore.
What they do? Drink?
You walk around for a bit. I mean, given that you know the city pretty well, it doesn't take you too long to find a sort of magic item shop. You go in, and there is the shop is pretty sizable. There's lots of really all kinds of items that are around in the store. There's racks of magic weapons. There's some suits of armor displayed of various types. There's all manner of potions and wands and scrolls, and even a few sort of curious-looking magic items that you may not have seen before. there is an elven woman behind the counter, and she sees you walk in and says, "Wow, you really walked in here with a purpose. What brings you here?"
Me and my friends have been on a big adventure, and I think it's about time we get paid for the fruits of our labor. And I show her some of the magic items and say, well, before I do, I'm very confident that nobody here can use a +2. Wait a minute.
Yeah.
Opera can use a +2 breastplate. See?
Uh,
Let me check on that. He has what, medium proficiency, right?
Yeah.
He should be able to use it. Yeah, he can. It's considered medium.
And it's for a large-sized creature, so... Okay, notice that I'm putting the +2 breastplate aside, because I'm like, oh, wait, shit, Jobber can use this. This is mine now.
Okay. So you pull out if you're pulling out the loot from the one guy that you specifically mentioned to me, you grab the
Right now, I'm pulling out the +3 heavy pick and the +3
Well, yeah.
cardless spells.
Well, yeah, I'm gonna go through the things that were not claimed because that's what you'd be pulling out right now. So, yeah, you have Mokmurian's club. From the loot from the other guy, Lily has the heavy pick, so you don't have that. You pull out his shield, which was magical. I don't think anyone claimed his Cloak of Elvenkind because that was
Assume that Urslan took it because, you know, stealth.
yeah.
okay.
Took it.
If somebody did claim it, I didn't mark it down, which is on me. But let's see here.
Let's just give it to Urslan.
Okay, sure. She didn't.
So, Lily.
Huh?
Since we've already made the plan that I would sell stuff and you can't use the heavy pick, do you think you just give it to me so I can sell it?
Yeah.
All right, so you would have the heavy pick then. All right, so yeah, you have the heavy pick, the club, the shield, and then there were a few vials of liquid that he had as well. There was the oil of darkness, the potion of displacement, and finally the potion of heroism.
The oil of darkness, a potion of displacement, and the potion of heroism I might just keep because maybe trade. I don't know. Heavy pick at the club I'm definitely selling, and maybe the shield. Probably the shield.
All right, so let's see here. That is a whole lot of gold in basically potential credit. It's got to calculate the sell price of everything here. So we're looking at what's the cost here, this one. Okay, so all total, the sell price for the 2 weapons and the shield comes to roughly 75,000 gold, which the shopkeep does not have on hand. but she mentions that, you know, you can use it as credit against any purchases that you make. And if the, you know, any purchases bring it down to amount that she does have on hand, she can then pay it out to you.
Okay.
All right. 75K. That's damn good.
Yeah, in terms of actual breakdown, like I said, the Mokmurian's club was about 50K, the heavy pick was roughly 18K, and the shield was like 7 to 8,000. So 75, 76,000 roughly.
I'm guessing that the heavy pick was only worth half of what the Mokmurian club was because of spell storing.
I'm sorry, say that again?
I'm assuming that the reason why the heavy pick is about half the price of Mokmurian's club is simply because the spell storing enhancement it had.
Yeah, it had actually multiple enhancements on it, which made it more expensive. Yeah, there was the spell storing as well as the defending enhancements. So that
that
brings it up to basically the base price of a +5 weapon rather than a regular +3. The heavy pick has no enhancements on it; it's just a base +3. And the shield of bashing is a +1.
Alright, 75 and extra credit. Sounds good to me.
All right.
So I'm going to store that as my own personal gold for now.
Now, I assume you're going to want to browse the store a bit, or perhaps maybe fetch the rest of your friends to do that, or
I really want to browse. I'll browse the store anyway, but I'm not sure if I should make any purchases yet, simply because of I don't want to take more than my fair share.
That's understandable. Okay, so what? So in your browsing, what do you? If there's anything specific you want to look for,
I need to get first dibs. You're doing the shopping for us.
Any sort of like types of items, whether that's you know, suits of armor, you know, just for example, rings, rods, wands, staves, you know.
Let's take a peek at
wondrous items.
Staffs and wondrous items. When I say staffs, I mean rods.
Well, those are separate things. Like,
yeah, let's check out both of them and then wondrous items.
Okay, so starting with rods, there is there's quite a selection of rods available here in the game. So let me kind of scroll through here. Maybe like randomly draw a few here. So so she's got a few different ones on display here. First is, oh, come on. That's not what I wanted to do. Okay. All right, so the first rod that catches your eye, you notice that it has runes that, while they appear to be etched into the rod itself, and in fact they are, there is a slight energy that flows over the runes of the rods that looks like the energy itself looks like shadows. The rod itself is made of mithril, And this rod is marked as the Rod of Vicious Ghosts. I would say if you don't want to like necessarily bother the shopkeep to explain every single thing to you, I would say just we'll just make spellcraft checks to see if you can discern what it does. Otherwise, I can just have the shopkeep follow you around and just tell you everything.
If the shopkeep's not busy, then I would like her to tell me everything that it does.
Okay. Yeah, there doesn't appear to be too much traffic in the store right now, so she's free to assist you. So she trails behind you, like, giving you space, of course, but she notices you looking at this one rod, and she says, "Ah, yes, that's a very interesting piece there. If you ever find yourself in the ethereal plane, you can use this rod to affect creatures that are here on the material plane." The full description is as follows. So yeah, it enables you to cast spells on, if you are on the ethereal plane, you can cast spells on targets that are on the material plane.
Cool. What else we got?
Nearby to that one, there is one that looks like it came from really an outer plane, probably. On this rod, you see a fusion of magic into a long, sort of dull, purplish colored rod. There are 4 writhing tentacles coming off of one end of the rod. There is a note underneath the name of the rod that indicates that it is not to be sold to anyone who either does not display the presence of a strong mind, as well as someone who appears to have some kind of ulterior motives for purchasing it. This is known as the Rod That Should Not Be, is its name. This is the greater version of it.
Oh my.
So this is what this one does. She explains it to you like very like hesitantly. If you want to sense motive her as she's explaining it, then be my guest. But she is like very careful about describing it.
Why not? Guidance. Go.
Okay, so first of all, you sense that she you sense that she's not the owner of the store, first off, because of the vibes that she's giving off when she's explaining this to you. She's explaining it in a way where, like, she's hoping that you don't buy it, simply because she believes that it's safer to just be held here instead of unleashed upon the world. And she notices you kind of giving her an eye of, you know, what's really going on here. And she just says, this item has a mind of its own. I would be exceedingly careful if this is what you want to buy.
Sentient things?
In like out of game terms, yes, it is an intelligent item. Let's see. From there, the next item is the rods that are also, you know, the rest of the ones that you can look at here. It kind of seems like each one is stronger than the one before it, or at least in appearance it is. The next one is simply called an intensified meta magic rod, which they allow you to cast 3 times per day a spell that can be used alongside the just the related meta magic. So, trying to find the description here. So the way this works is you cast a damaging spell through this rod, and the number of damage dice act as if you are 5 caster levels higher. It doesn't modify any other variables of the spell. Any spells that deal damage that doesn't scale with caster level cannot be used with it. Possession of the rod, though, does mean that it doesn't cost you a higher spell slot to utilize the effect. There are 2 more that are very similar to one another. One is the lesser version, and the other is the regular version of this particular rod. These last two are these rods almost resemble maces rather than rods. They have long metal like flanges that come off the handle, and as they expand from the handle, they grow wider. These are rods of giant summoning, and you can use the rod 3 times per day to basically enhance any creatures you summon. They essentially gain the giant template, which makes them 1 size category bigger. It gives additional hit points, additional natural armor, additional damage, and a slight penalty to anything is based on dexterity due to size. The regular version of the rod can be used with summoning spells of 6th level or lower, whereas the lesser one can be used with spells that are 3rd level or lower.
Oh, that's tempting. Curiosity, how much for it?
The regular one is 11,000 gold. The lesser one is 3,000 gold.
Is there a greater version somewhere?
A greater version does exist, but it's not in stock here at this store.
Fair enough.
And the greater version, as you might expect, can be used with any summoning spell. All the way up to 9th level.
All right, mental note.
Since you wanted to look at staff items, I will go through those next. All right, so the first staff. This is an iron staff that is a jet black color. It is, the tag says it is a staff of harming. The staff contains 1 charge of each of the following spells: Contagion, inflict serious wounds, and blindness, deafness. The next one is, it appears to be a staff that has been made from bleached bones that have been fused together. This one is called the Staff of Dark Flame, I believe it's called. Yes, it is. So, as a melee weapon, it can be used as a +1 quarterstaff with the Flaming Enchantment special ability. And it contains the following spells. It contains 1 charge of False Life, Ray of Enfeeblement, and Scorching Ray. It contains 2 charges of Fireball, and then 3 charges of Animate Dead. Next up, there is a twisted and gnarled looking staff that is made of black oak. The staff is said to draw upon formless magic that belongs to the shadow plane. And why didn't that come up in my search? Here we go. Okay, so this staff contains 1 charge of Major Image, 2 charges of Shadow Conjuration, and 3 charges of Shadow Evocation. There are 2 more. We have a Staff of Transmutation, which looks like it's made from petrified wood. This is also etched with some pretty complex looking runes. It contains 1 charge of Alter Self, 1 charge of Blink, 1 charge of Expeditious Retreat, 2 charges each of Polymorph and Baleful Polymorph, and then 3 charges of Disintegrate. And then finally, this staff, this last one is extremely finely crafted, really just expertly made. This staff really doesn't even look like a staff at all. It appears to just be an icicle that tapers to a sharpened point at each end. This one can be used as a +3 icy burst staff. And it allows use of the following spells. We have 1 charge of Ice Storm, 2 charges of Freezing Sphere, 2 charges of Icy Prison, 2 charges of Wall of Ice, 3 charges of Cone of Cold, and 3 charges of Ice Body. As she finishes up describing what the staff can do, the shopkeeper says that this item is probably the most expensive item in the entire store. As a result, it has sat here for a very long time. She wonders aloud that perhaps that there isn't even anyone in Magnimar who can afford to buy this item, just because of the cost involved. She mentions to you that the cost of this item is well over 200,000 gold pieces.
Out of my price range, but out of curiosity, what does it do?
Yeah, so like I said, it here, I'll just
Oh, you already told me the spells. Okay, I thought that was a new item.
I'll just copy paste it, that way it's there for you to read. The UM just means it comes from a specific source book. It doesn't mean anything else. I don't know why that's in there. But yeah, that's all the staffs that they currently have. Now I think you did mention wondrous items, right? So any specific slot you're looking for?
I'm pretty sure to increase charisma, you need a forehead slot.
Headband, yeah.
Or wisdom, well, that wisdom's the same thing. Maybe a couple of belts. So, question: can you upgrade a wondrous item?
I'll be right back. I gotta go take Panzer to pee.
Okay, no worries.
Alright.
Let's see here. Let's look that up. Rules question. So it looks like you could upgrade it. Yeah.
Figured out what name we can name our first kid. Harry.
Very nice. Very nice.
Oh my gosh, I figured out what name we can.
Tim.
Yeah.
Would it be reasonable to ask if a giant a belt of giant strength could be transformed into a belt of exactly what it's called, but basically like a +2 to 2 stats, strength and constitution or dex instead of just one.
You wouldn't be able to take a giant strength belt and do that. No, it would be
Worth a shot.
the base. Actually, wait, hold on. Let me look at that. Oh no, yeah, you could. There was the other belt that Dream has. I think it's different. That one you wouldn't be able to do. But yeah, you could take that one and turn it into the belt of physical might is the one that boosts 2 different of those ability scores. And then there's also a belt of physical perfection that boosts all 3.
Nice. Belt of physical might is what I'm after. I'm wondering if I ask Dream to upgrade Chomper's belt of giant strength, would that be reasonable?
So basically, the cost involved is going to be, well, depending on which one you want, it would be the difference in price between the old one and the new one, and then the appropriate buff spell that would go into it. So, Cat's Grace for dexterity, or Bear's Endurance for constitution.
At the spells, I'm just trying to get my hands on a +4 belt of physical might.
Well, yeah, no, I bring up the spells because you were talking about actually crafting it rather than just straight up buying it. So, those would be involved with creating it. In order to just buy it, you're looking at it. It's a pretty steep price tag to just buy it.
That's the problem, especially since that's gonna be for Chomper.
Right.
It doubles its price.
We're looking at like, well, wondrous items usually resize themselves. Those aren't affected by size. It's really just weapons and armor that are.
Hold up, Wondrous items don't have a size limit? Oh, let's fucking go. This changes everything.
I don't think they're affected by that. Let's see here. Yeah, wondrous items resize to fit the wearer.
Changes everything.
Yeah, so you don't have to worry. You don't have to worry about that.
All right, let me see if I can get my hands on 2 of those. Oh, I still. Let me see. How much would it cost for me to get turn my +2 armor to +3 and then add wild on it?
So let's see here. Let me open up your sheet because it'll make this easier for me to figure out. All right, so +2, no enhancements. Okay, is that amount? So doing the math here, a +3 wild is the same price as a +6. So 36,000 minus 4 divided by 2. It would cost 16,000 to make.
All right, that's still reasonable.
Actually, wait, no, hold on. The cost of the enhancement doesn't get split in half because I'm looking at it here and the construction requirements lists the same. So that's going to be nine plus you know what? I'm just gonna say 18,000 for now, and if I look it up and I'm wrong, I'll correct it out of game. I don't want to bog down too much. So yeah, we'll go with that, and I'll figure it out after.
Damn it, damn it. And 40. $58. What I would spend alone. And I'm in a serious pickle. Because I definitely want to get my hands on a wild +3. I also want physical might to give Chomper both a strength bonus and a serious constitution bonus. That would also be really cool for Dino to get one too, but... What? Fuck it. I'm gonna play it safe for now. So, out of 79,000, what I just sold, and 50,000 is what the thing I took was worth. So that leaves 12,000 for something else. 15,000. But even then, because on one hand, I want everyone to have like a really dope magic item. I'm trying to decide. Let me see. 50,000. That means we have. What's that? Cover the bog down. Trying to do some really big brain plays here.
It's all right.
29.
This is the time to do it when we're just doing a downtime session anyway. Okay, so based on what I'm reading, it is the cost of the new item minus the cost of the old item, and then if you are upgrading it yourself, then it gets divided by 2. So my 16,000 gold was, or no, I said 18. Yeah, no, it's actually 16. 16,000 gold if you're doing it yourself.
That cuts back even more. So 16.
The issue, however, is that I don't know if anyone has the feat required to do it. Dreams to actually make it yourself, because Dreams feat is for wondrous items. We're talking about armor here, so
Oh no, no. The armor is fair enough.
Right.
I'm definitely buying the armor. I'm wondering about the Wanderer's items.
So okay, so if we're talking about upgrading the belt, for example, so a belt of giant strength is okay. That's what that costs. Going from a belt of +2 belt of giant strength to a +4 belt of physical might is that's 18,000 gold to craft plus the spell.
All right, still dope. Dope. Why is dream spell crafting? Check out of curiosity.
Oh yeah, because I forgot. You have to actually make the. You have to make a roll at the end of the crafting process. His is actually pretty high now. He dumped a lot of ranks into it, so he has a plus.
Year.
He has a plus 23 to spellcraft.
Alright, I'm good. Still, what the hell am I looking for? I'm in my.
You need my spellcraft?
Not yet.
Not at the moment.
I'm just thinking of like
we're just theorizing here.
trying to buy new shit, and like now's the time to absolutely buy everything at our fucking disposal. I'm trying to make sure that I both stay in my lane for making sure everyone has a fair share, and make sure they all get dope magic items while trying to maximize what I can get as much as possible. Mm,
I wouldn't. I wouldn't worry
straight
about
giant
just for out of game. Like I wouldn't worry about Edge's share of the gold too much, just because I'm probably going to write him out for a bit shortly. But yeah, he's gonna be motivated to go find and take down that dragon. So that's probably where he's gonna go.
Oh. Alright. Okay, I also have a built up giant strength. Okay, that's what I was looking for. Because I know I have it, I just couldn't find it. Oh, that would be 18,000 each. $54. I can buy this with all my gold. Alright. So, out of character, I want to make a proposition to everyone.
Okay.
What's up?
So, I'm not sure what you guys would buy with your gold, but right now I'm trying to get my hands on special armor that has a higher boost than what it does now, and allows me to keep my armor while wild shape, as well as a +4 bonus to both strength and con to both Dino and Chomper.
Well, assist in that if this is what you're getting at.
So again, that would cost all 50 gold that we got from Mokmurian's club.
Oh,
So how fair do you think it sounds that I would give a 25 gold, no 25,000 gold plus all my platinum pieces for everyone to say yes, I think this is fair.
I mean, I'm willing to help you already and give you part of my share if needed.
Well, yeah, I'm the one who sold all the items, so I have pretty much all the gold. I'm just saying, like,
Well,
like,
I'm out of character. I'm saying I'm comfortable with using my share. Is what I'm saying, because I got the
no, but
access.
I'm just saying, like, my bother is that I'm fairly certain that Dino has the most magic items out of everyone in the party. And it seems unfair that I use most of the gold to get me even more good stuff. So 25,000 gold plus 600 platinum. You think that's enough to get everyone else on par with Dino stuff?
I mean,
Well,
so
thinking about it here, that's 31,000 gold.
Apparently, Panzer is very distraught by this.
All right, just to be clear, I'm not telling anybody what to do here, but like spending, if you're spending basically 50k total, which, yeah, I mean, if you're buying the services of a spellcrafter to make that armor for you, then you're essentially paying the full price for it. Well, full price minus the value of the item that you already have. So that is 32,000 gold if my napkin math is correct.
Cat's response would be that she has her own armor now, so she doesn't really care all that much.
So your armor, your current armor right now is a +2. That's worth 4,000. 4,000 plus whatever a masterwork breastplate costs, which is like a few hundred. +3 wild carries the same price as a +6 set of armor. Because wild, the price of a wild ability enhancement is the same as a +3 bonus. So yeah, that brings it up to a +6. So the base price of a +6 set of armor, which doesn't exist in the world, like, it's enhancement bonuses don't go above +5. It's the abilities that add to that in terms of the price. So +6 base price is 36,000 minus the 4,000 and change that your +2 breastplate is already worth. And so yeah, then it's like, 31 and change to buy this armor, being that you're not making it yourself.
Damn, that's whack.
Yeah, the cost only gets cut by half if you're creating it yourself.
You said 31, right?
Yeah, it's like 31 and then like 31,000, probably like 650 is the exact amount. Let me see here. So if a breastplate costs 200, masterwork brings that up to 350. So then 31,650 would be the exact cost.
All right, new plan. Fuck the wild thingy. Too much money. Fuck that.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, I mean, Cat would tell you that when it comes to armor, A, she has her own armor. B, like,
is it magical armor though?
She can make it magic, but also, like, she doesn't like wearing a lot of armor anyway because it limits her ability.
Cat's base armor is not magical. She has a amulet of natural armor for +1. Her armor's not even masterwork, so she would have to like go get.
Yeah, that's the point I'm making. Is that like that's how she likes things.
Yeah. Although I don't know where you're saying that you can make it magical because you don't have.
I was just.
Yeah, I was gonna say you don't have like you don't have mage armor or shield or anything like that.
I'm being facetious.
I figured. I just wanted to, for the sake of clarification, I don't want anybody else to get confused.
No. I don't think I can actually make
it. I was so looking forward to WoW. 31 gold.
Like, I can do it myself. I'll figure out how.
I get that. Very much so.
Lily wouldn't mind sharing, but she wants to get her hands on a diamond.
Fair enough. But I think we should all like pitch in for that. Not just Lily. That's not fair.
Yeah, Cat will pitch in on a diamond.
No, Lily can take care of this.
Lily, I will threaten you with my +30 intimidate. So help me.
Oh yeah.
Christ, how do you have a +30 intimidate?
Worry about it.
Skill focus feat plus lots of ranks in it plus a new feat that allows him to also add his strength to intimidate. So yeah.
Hey Tim.
So we're throwing hands.
How do you?
I'm throwing hands
counter.
verbally.
How do you counter intimidation?
You don't.
Having a high wisdom modifier helps.
Hey.
Which you don't have
I
that.
don't
You
have
have a
that.
negative.
Damn it.
It's like, wait a second, I'm supposed to be the one who intimidates everybody doing what I want.
I thought you
You just
seduce people into doing whatever they want.
That
No, that's-
too!
No, Dina's the one who's gonna be, yeah. I want to take care of this of myself.
Oh, you can't.
I will. And
Can't.
can.
I will stop you.
Why?
Because that's not fair.
Why is it not fair?
Because you're spending your money
let
to
her do
potentially
it.
revive
Let her do
anybody
it.
else.
Let her do it. Let her do it. We'll pay for the next one.
Anyway, okay, new plan. 36,000 is a bit more reasonable. And wait, who's with me at the store right now?
Not me.
Cat's in the bookstore.
Nobody.
Oh shit. Okay, I'm gonna take my wait. Should I take the item? Should I take the wait? Did you give me the gold already?
Cat found a bookstore with a cute little cafe, and she's having some tea and reading a romance novel.
Well, you haven't
Oh,
bought
that's
anything,
fun.
so no, it's still like,
Because I don't want to endanger myself and have a shitload of gold on hand, so someone might try to take it from me, then I have to kill him.
So then no. I mean, like I said, you haven't bought anything, so it's still kind of like credit. Which again, we can sort all this out of game too if you guys want. Like, I don't mind. Just you guys want to make like a shopping list or something, and I'll let you know if you can get it in the store or not. I mean, more than likely you'll be able to. Magnimar is one of the bigger cities in the world, so there's a good chance that if it can be purchased, you can find it in Magnimar.
But I'm thinking of asking Dream for help with my stuff, just because I think there's a big difference between 40,000 gold apiece and 20,000 gold apiece.
Yeah, I mean,
Wait,
the cost of crafting it yourself, allowing it to be cut in half is not insignificant, especially for more expensive stuff. Just be aware that unless somebody grabs, a feat to create magic arms and armor, which is, your magic weapon and armor crafting feat, then you're limited to wondrous items when it comes to crafting. Lily has 1,000 gold worth of diamond dust, which she can use to remove one of Ursulin's negative levels if she so chooses.
I need more.
I mean that something like that is relatively easy to find in Magnimar. There are.
What about a 5K gold diamond?
You could potentially find that here as well. Yeah, that's a little bit less common, but
Is there like a jeweler somewhere?
Yeah, I mean, there's multiple jewelers in the city. It's a huge city, so.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah, all right. So we can.
Yeah, I'm just going
to add that to the list.
I'm gonna leave the store for now. I'm gonna tell her that I'll be back. I'll definitely be back to sell the stuff. I just need to talk to my party members to know, okay, this is what we all want to buy, and to manage money.
All right, so yeah, we'll do. I'll have everyone put together a list of items, or if you want my help in picking out items, you can certainly just ask me questions or whatever you want. And we can handle that out of game. As far as what Lily's after, she hasn't bought very much. She probably has like enough gold to cover it like right now.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'll take care of it.
Yeah, I mean,
As soon as you realize this, I'm gonna threaten you to take more money.
All right, so
Why?
Because
Not fair.
That's
So-
Tina.
So you want how much more diamond dust do you want?
At least another 1K.
At least another 1K? Okay, and then 5,000 gold diamond is what you want?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
Well, 1 diamond worth of 5K gold.
well, yeah, that's what I meant. Not like more than one of those, just one. So
Yeah.
you recall some of the nicer jewelers that exist in the city. You walk into one of them, and yeah, easily enough you're able to obtain what you want. So you now have 2,000 gold and diamond dust, and one singular diamond that is worth 5,000. So that I'll just remove 600 platinum from your coins because that'll cover it. Now, as part of like your, I don't know, maybe we roll back and say that maybe you would have done this after resting. Would you have cast Restoration on Urzulin yet, or no?
Yeah, sure, why not?
All right, so you go ahead and do that. I'll just do that. So yeah, you remove one negative level from Urzulin, which consumes the one half of your diamond dust, so 1,000 gold worth. You'll have to wait a week before you can use restoration in this way again. But you now have the diamond dust on hand to do it.
Hey, that's nice.
Let's
Alright.
go.
So let's go to Cat in the Bookstore. Which let me see if there's any specific one that is. So we're just looking for we're looking for smut, or we're looking for something else.
Good question.
Cat. Cat, what sort of book are we looking for? Oh wait, no, maybe she's not back yet from taking the dog out. I realized that she said that.
Yeah, what?
Yeah, I was asking you what kind of books you're looking for. If you're looking for like smut or for
Oh,
other stuff.
I already say it's like, yeah, Kat found a nice little bookstore with a cafe built in, and she's grabbed a romance book and is reading and drinking a cup of tea.
All right, yeah. So you find a bookstore that is actually right across the street from Billivan's Benevolent Balms and Effulgent Elixirs, which you've been to before. This was when you guys were investigating the Skinsaw cult.
I kind of want to go there too.
And going, towards the back of the store to kind of steal some bookkeeping records and things like that. But yeah, you go into the bookstore across the street. Pretty large bookstore, as you might expect, given where you are. You're beginning really. Magnimar kind of has that Texas vibe, everything's bigger in Magnimar, sort of thing with these shops. So there is a rather sprawling section of romance novels for you to get lost in, and you find one that appeals to you. Go up to the counter and buy it, and it's just a pittance for you in terms of money. It's like a few silver.
So she's going to read a book before she leaves. She's also going to try to find some books on the Runelords and Planeswalking.
Okay. Not so much on the Runelords here.
Not even Legends of whatever fuck plane we're in.
So it's the selection here is not as exhaustive as what's in the Jorgenfist library, but there's a few there are a few history books that cover ancient
Thessalonian history.
Yeah, and mercifully for you, these are written in Common and not Thessalonian, but yeah, books that generally cover the history of Thassalon, each of the different empires that were within it, the lineage of the different Runelords. Some had more than one that
presided over everything at various times. Others, it's just been one rune lord the entire time. But yeah, you find a seemingly satisfactory amount of knowledge from these books, and you purchase them for your own leisure time whenever you feel the need. And like I said, pretty cheap. I mean, with those books included, it's like a couple gold. It's not a huge deal for you. Okay, so yeah, I just remembered. Dream wanted to go to the to Billivins, so Dream, you walk in and it looks like the store has been somewhat cleaned up, although you still notice that there's some clutter scattered about, various just like tchotchkes and spell components and just other odds and ends that are seemingly set up here without any real rhyme or reason. But as before, the male gnome who runs the store is behind the counter, greets you with a smile and a tip of the cap, and he would like to know what you're interested in today.
I'm sorry, Panther.
Sorry, just give me 1 second.
Yeah, no worries.
Oh, you're asking Dream. Okay.
Yeah, he's shopping at the gnome guy that you guys infiltrated and stole some of his records to help solve the crimes.
Sorry, just had a little work thing.
Oh, yeah, no worries.
Okay, so well, what do we got? What kind of guy do I look like to you? What do you recommend?
You look like someone who enjoys curiosities and perhaps creating your own fun.
Well, yeah. I mean, look at my head. It's an owl.
Ah, so it is. So it is. Well then, right this way, let me show you some of my alchemical supplies. He shows you a few different things. That he has like small containers of brimstone and sulfur. He has some quicksilver.
Now, okay, so I do have a question. So, I'm looking to design a device, and this device has to propel certain pointy things pretty quickly, like a lot of velocity with these pointy things. What do you recommend for that?
Well, you can never go wrong with adding some alchemist fire to something like that.
I like this person. I'll take some of that, definitely.
Okay, so he brings you over to where he has that. He has maybe a handful of flasks of it. Each flask costs 20 gold pieces.
I will take... How many does he have? I'll take 10 of them.
Okay, he
he doesn't have that many in stock. He has 8.
I'll take 8.
Okay. So that's he'll knock the price down for the bulk purchase a little bit, so he says, "Oh, we'll call it 150."
All right, I'm not done yet, sir.
Oh, if I would be surprised if you were.
Okay, so something else. Oh, what do you recommend for maybe mists or aerosols, sprays? For a gas releasing device, if you will.
Interesting. Well, I suppose you could.
Maybe something that would help in creating a fume. Sulfur might work.
Well, I have some smoke sticks here.
Smoke sticks work.
Yes, these are quite effective. As long as whatever you're doing causes the stick to burn, it'll create a thick smoke in its wake.
Now, is there any way to infuse these smoke sticks with other materials?
What sort of materials do you have in mind?
Maybe shadow sage?
Now, what would you be doing with something like that?
This is all, of course, metaphorically speaking.
Oh, believe me, I don't judge. I'm just genuinely curious.
Well, I'm a shaman who likes to try and be an alchemist. And I make bombs for our adventures. We just took down a whole fortress of stone giants, so we kind of need utilities as such.
Ah, yes, sure. Interesting.
And, for the right price, I could always obtain some of these materials for you if you have similar interests, of course.
Oh, those years may be behind me, but definitely keep that in mind. Well, let's just say I like to experience the world.
Oh, I could help you do that. Help you experience all sorts of worlds.
So, yes, as I said, any reaction that would cause ignition or burning within some kind of material that you would throw these smoke sticks, and yeah, you'll create quite a fog cloud behind whatever it is that you use it on.
Dream's just gonna slam his head on the counter and say, "I'll take it."
All right, so yeah, there are 10 of them in one little box that he has displayed. These, by the piece, they run for the same amount as the Alchemist Fire, but again, he'll knock down the price just because you're buying a bunch of them.
Yeah, I'll buy 10.
He says this will be, well, I figure buy 9, get the 10th free, so 180.
Sounds good. I have to. Oh, you're quicker than me.
Yep. Took care of it.
What else does he have? Does he have anything that, let's see. Just want to make sure I'm covering everything here. Order. Oil of darkness. What about a non-flammable explosion? Something that would provide a way to disperse a oil effectively in a room without burning it.
Oil. Well, I'm not sure if this would work, but I do have, well, let me think. Oh, I'll just show you. He pulls out from like under the counter a smaller box. It has two objects inside of it that resemble like small gourds or potentially even like a bladder of some kind that's been preserved. He says, now these bombs that you make, I know you mentioned something that doesn't explode. Have you worked with these types of bombs before? You know, bombs that necessarily aren't meant to blow up, but instead just release some kind of material?
Not exactly.
Okay. Well, now, what sort of materials have you worked with when you make bombs before?
Various poisons, continual flame, oil, mold spores.
Mold spores, you say? That could work. That could work.
But for this one, I'm trying to use oil of darkness to make some sort of last-minute escape assistance.
Huh. Interesting. You know what? You might want to try this then. This might work. So whenever I get these particular items, my supplier, he always calls them pox bursters. And normally you would fill this up with toxins or potentially rotten or decayed materials. And typically these are meant to be thrown, and then they spread disease to anyone unfortunate enough to be standing in it. But I suppose you could coat this in some oil and achieve a similar effect. I never tested it myself, and I would imagine my supplier hasn't either, but could be worth a try.
If you want to come by for the testing, just let me know.
Yes, well, I'll certainly keep that in mind. Could always have my grandson come in and work the shop that day.
I would appreciate the assistance.
Now, these two, it's the methods by which these are obtained are a bit, well, labor intensive, let's say. So, for the pair here, that will cost you 100 gold.
For the pair. Okay, I'll take 4.
Ah, yes, very well. And he grabs like another identical, like small box that has 2 more of these things in it. Takes a small amount of gold off the prices he's been doing, so another 180 for this one. But yeah, that's 4 pox bursters that you now have.
Awesome.
Whether you're finished purchasing or not, I'm already looking forward to hearing about your exploits with these items.
You definitely will hear about them, if not from me, someone else.
Oh, wonderful. I certainly love when word gets back to me on how my supplies are utilized.
Yeah, I like this guy.
Yeah, he seems to have taken a liking to you as well. I mean, I could be wrong in my own memory, but I don't think you were necessarily involved in the rifling through his stuff. So
No, I don't think so.
no, yeah. So you're in the clear with him at least. So
it's a good friend to have.
Yeah. Yeah, he might not be so receptive to like Kat or Ursula walking in because I know they were involved. So, but yeah. Is there anything else I can interest you in?
No, that should do it for now.
Ah, yes, wonderful. Do come back soon.
I definitely will.
Okay. What are we at now in terms of? We've been going for almost 3.5 hours. If nobody has anything like pressing that they want to do, I think we'll probably stop here.
Thanks, man.
And then I'll have everyone put together sort of a magic item wish list, I guess. Would be what I would call it. At a game, we can throw that in the group chat, and then we'll sort through it. Did anybody have anything they really wanted to do, or?
I think I covered everything.
Okay. All right then. So.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, we'll end here then, and then yeah, we'll discuss any items further at a game. So this was a very informative session, I would say. You guys learned a lot about Runeforge and Karzoug and Xin-Shalast, and you picked up a few bits of knowledge that should help you with the trials ahead. Got out of Jorgenfist with a key to get back into the library should you decide to go back there, and find some more knowledge for yourselves. So pretty productive night overall. To the viewers at home, we will have our regular game next week, but in 2 weeks we will be off on the 23rd. I will be away on a vacation, and then we'll resume after that on the 30th. So next week I would expect some more downtime. Maybe we time skip a little bit depending on what everyone wants to do, and also get a hold of the magic items that everybody wants, as well as any other odds and ends that we forgot about tonight. But until then, we will catch you next week on Sunday night. Have fun, be safe out there. We'll see you next week.